Hey, it's me, a PLD.
And I'm Richard-Erik Jarvi.
And I'm Matty Gunner, and this is Class Action, but I don't know what the hell that was.
It's the most destructive movie podcast on the interwebs.
We are just very disastrous. I'll give you that. It's not. That's very true. I get the it's a me thing because we had the Super Mario movie coming out with Chris Pratt. So
I was going to say, was that your?
When's that coming out?
Sometime very soon. I saw a trailer for it. It's coming up on Nintendo Direct recently. I really haven't been paying attention because I'm not exactly that excited about it. I'll be honest with you, but I probably will watch it. I'll probably end up watching it at some point.
You sound excited.
The
way you started this today's show.
Well, it kind of works with my name, so that's why I had to do it. Like, it gives me a little bit of a rhyme. It's something actually Christian Harloff had me do. I use on Chilled Action once. He says, "You should do that all the time," and I was like, "Yeah, I will. I won't, but I throw it in there now, here and there." I'll probably usually stick with the "It's me, it's PLD," but every once in a while I'll throw in "It's me, it's a PLD."
Like, yeah, you should do that all the time. Yeah, no.
Every once in a while I'll pull it out as a special gift favors or something like that. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's Class Action. We are here on Class Action. I want to give you a heads up, everybody. Heads up. You see me wincing in pain. I do have some back injuries that has flared up, so I might stand up and stretch. I'm not getting bored of the conversation. I'm just needing to relieve myself from those great pain of carrying these two disaster movies on my back this past week.
I thought you were about to say carrying these two co-hosts on your back. I was about to say, where's he going with this?
I wouldn't say that. I would never say that. Anyway,
and if you see Matty wincing, that's because he's trying to make do with Moonfall. Yeah, he's trying to get on board talking about Moonfall.
Matty, when we first announced this, Matty just I think put his head in his hands, and I think I saw a few tears rolling down his face. I have to watch Moonfall again.
I'm gonna save it.
We're going to save it. All right. We're going to have
the things I do for you people.
Now, I have to say, we are doing Class Action Day, and this is two grouping of movies that I really think is one of those kind of movies. It's a perfect class action battle. It's the perfect disaster. It's the perfect. That's Jarvi. That's why I keep you aboard. That's why I keep you on board here. That's why you're second chair. We have two disaster movies. By Dean Devlin and by Roland Emmerich, who are obviously I worked together plenty of times, and you get them together, and they are perfest matchups, right? I mean, come on, whether you want to admit it or not, they really are perfect matchups for us.
I was surprised that Geostorm wasn't directed by Roland Emmerich. I was seriously surprised because it was exactly right up his alley.
It really was. And this is what they do. I mean, these aren't works of art. We're not going to lie. We're not going to say this works
of fart. Yeah, you could say they're works of art.
They are probably works of art. That's true.
Works of shot.
As you know, we remember the Action Army, and the Action Army Generals really. Most of the Action Army Generals really globbed on to Moonfall when it came out this year. They think it's the Oscar award.
Mostly Mike Deacon and AJ Lancaster. Then everyone kind of jumped on the bandwagon with those two. And guys, as much as I love you, if either of you are watching this, I love you guys, but I can't. You're going down a path I can't follow.
It's what I say people in the chat. Hey Ed, good to see you always.
What's up, Haskell?
Kelly.
What's up, Kelly?
And is this the day Ed Harris actually loses at something?
Don't jinx this.
I don't know. We don't know yet. We're going to have to find out,
With this guy on the panel?
With this guy in the panel? That guy in the panel? I don't know. We'll have to see. I try to be objective. God damn it. Try.
Okay. I'll remember that.
Yeah, throwing in categories last minute to make sure your pick goes through. Yeah, that's real.
I have never done that. Never, not once done that. Maybe once. I won't ever admit it fully though. I do want to say I got to throw it out there. This is a funny story for me. Jacob Patrick, the great Jacob Patrick, does our thumbnails. I love him. He's one of my favorite people as far as especially artistically, graphically, and beyond that.
Great music taste too, by the way. We've had a couple of really good conversations about music. Great dude.
Oh, great dude. We got to hang out with him at a few Schmodown events. I actually wish I could talk to him more because the dude is awesome. He actually made an appearance on Class Action back when he was on Action Industries, and we had like the guests who would come on and do their I forget the topic. Like they give us I forget what we used to call it nowadays. They would just give us a question like off the cuff or whatever. We have to answer it on air.
I think it was a public defender. I think it was called the public defender.
That's what it's called. Oh, okay, maybe something like that. Either way, I got Jacob Patrick does all our graphics. I told him this week, I'm like, okay, we're doing Moonfall versus Geostorm. And then he put that in my inbox, and I'm like,
look at all the faces in the back, though. Put it back. Like, look at all the surprised and confused faces in the back. That's fucking genius what it did there.
It really is. And I got
Ed Harris isn't even the lead of the fucking movie.
Neither is Donald Sutherland either. That's
Donald Sutherland is in like 2 minutes.
No, I'm gonna get to that. That's
so funny. Like when we usually put these out, if this was like any other characters, if Ed Harris put in this movie, it'd obviously have been like, Jerry B and then Patrick Wilson as like the main like guys in front, because Jacob Patrick is the man that he is, the man that is a legend. He came back with that thumbnail, and I was like, yep, that fits.
I can't wait for the day we do the what would Ed Harris play only episode, when the thumbnail is just going to be Ed Harris, and like every movie Ed Harris has done.
That's the best part. Whenever we do that as a full episode, it'll be other characters with just Ed Harris's face on them.
December 17th, I think, is the day for that.
Is that could do it? We could do that week. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what I'm saying. Oh, Reese's in the chat as well. Hey guys, great week in my college and pro football team won, and I saw Mom for the first time in 3 years.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's
cool. Awesome. Really cool for you. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you've come back from that to stick around with us for a bit. That's awesome. But good for you, man. Good for you. And yes, JP definitely understood the assignment. We'll go
before we get into any of the games, I loved how you did it yesterday, PLD. What is class action for the people who don't know?
We should say that actually last night. Before I say that, before I go into that, we'll say that we should print this out a little bit.
Of course.
Last night, Eddie Green, who is a very old school Action Army member, like not even like a Schmodown our Action Army. I don't think he really went to the Schmodown at all. He was just purely Action Movie Anatomy fan. He's had Ben Bateman on the podcast a few times. I think did Guy ever get on there? I'm not sure if Guy.
I think he did. I think he did one.
I think Guy did one. Yeah.
Anyway, great friend of the podcast. He actually made an appearance on our podcast back again when it was on Action Industries. He invited myself and Richard-Erik Jarvi as old time friends. He'd been working, trying to get us on his podcast forever. And his podcast YouTube, Fans of Something, interviewed us last night as an evening with Class Action, me and Jarvi, and we got a great long conversation about just random things, movies, action stuff. It's really cool. So definitely go check it out. I think I'll find the link you put it.
I was not in there, but I still watched. It was a great interview. I unfortunately couldn't make it, but definitely go watch the interview with these two guys.
It is very cool, and he's a good dude. He's a really good dude. PJ probably shouldn't watch it because he's James Cameron's #1 fan, so he might not like it as much. We did touch on that, of course, absolutely.
It's like the first 3 minutes.
We went right into it, just went right out.
Oh, actually, PLD mentioned Ed Harris first before we mentioned James Cameron.
True. It was like I gotta
seconds. I gotta get the bid. Come on,
Christo. No, Christo, no. The movies are not good, but keep watching this episode. You'll know why we're doing these movies.
They're not good, so
good.
There's something so special about them.
They're so good because they're not good.
Yeah.
And also, real quick, shout out to Jesse Swift in the chat. Brendan Gleeson. This has nothing to do with this episode or the movie, but I just want to say I am currently boycotting everything Brendan Gleeson for his cultural appropriation of skateboarders, for his SNL sketch.
I did see that.
So he basically dressed up as a skateboarder and was basically like yelling at a mall cop. It's a complete joke. I actually thought the bit was very funny. I just wanted to bring that up because that was a thing between me and Jesse, and Jesse's in the chat.
Jesse, always good to see you, by the way. I did see that. I wasn't wondering what that was about, but I realized I never saw that.
I am boycotting Brendan Gleeson for the foreseeable future.
Oh, damn it, because Brendan Gleeson's a good cast. He's a good.
I just watched In Bruges.
My culture is not your costume, Brendan.
Brendan Gleeson, that's the guy from In Bruges, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Same guy. All right. Good stuff. All right. But we brought up the episode yesterday of mine Jarvi's interview because we talk about class action a little bit, obviously. And Jarvi pushed me to, what's class action about? Okay, we'll tell you what class action is about. Class action, if you don't know, is where we take two things. It could be movies, could be franchises, could be actors, could be directors, could be characters, could be anything. We put them up against each other in a steel cage battle to the death, where we pick 5, sometimes 6, sometimes 8. If I need 8, we're going to do 8 categories. It's custom-made categories, and we put them up against each other. At the end of the day, we see which one comes out on top. And the best thing about it is that it's not always what we think of. It's not always what we think is going to wins. And sometimes we get really shocked and surprised. Sometimes the surprise is just limited to how much something kicks something's ass.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes it's actually, we actually had some times where we like a movie better and it's a loss to the other one. That's always an interesting way to go. So without further ado, though, then we should talk about these 2 movies, and we should get in our new not game, so to speak, but our new segment, or quick segment, where we decided which movie we want to watch more. Just not who's gonna win or who should win, but if we had a snap judgment, we had to put these on, and one movie is eliminated from existence, and one movie we get to watch ad nauseum. Which one of these are we going to watch? And I'm going to start with you, Matty, because I really want to hear what you have to say about this, because I'm very interested.
You really fucking just wasting show time with this.
No,
really gonna,
don't ask him that, because
you're really going to run up the clock. It's fucking Geostorm.
Okay, right away. No, you don't have to say anything else. You're just like,
no,
fuck Moonfall.
No, Geostorm.
Okay, all right. Jarvi, yourself?
If I can only watch the last third of Moonfall, it's Moonfall. But if it's both entire movies, then it's definitely Geostorm.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. I don't think this is actually one for me. I mean, I could not eliminate. Obviously, I can't. I got to go with Geostorm because I can't eliminate a Ed Harris movie from his filmography. If I try to take that out of it, I've tried the Ed Harris part out of it. I almost kind of agree with Jarvi in a way. Like, there's a lot I love to watch from Moonfall. It is a perfect movie in some ways, but
perfect.
You guys are picking the last third of that.
That is when the movie actually started. That's when it got really good.
God.
That's when it really took off.
This is fun. This is going to be a fun episode. This is we don't get this very often. Usually it's me versus Jarvi. A lot of times, a lot of things, but this time it's me and Jarvi versus Matty. This is going to be interesting.
That has
is Matty going to be moonstruck in this episode?
Oh my God.
Or is he going to take the fall?
I think he might just end up mooning us both.
I fucking hope
the storm's coming.
I fucking hope a Geostorm happens right now and it cuts my internet out.
Oh man, I feel like this is going to be such a fun episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Revision just wants to say off the topic. I saw the Nick Cage film Pig last night. It's amazing. That is good movie.
It is.
That's a great choice, other than watching Geostorm and Moonfall.
I don't know about that, but it is a phenomenal movie. I will say, I actually would like to do that. Something. I think that's something we put in our document there, Jarvi. I want to do some kind of later Nick Cage movie against each other. I don't know which one yet.
Pig versus
Wonderland, or the all bacon episode.
Bacon.
Well, let's talk about our categories first before we play our game. I think I want to decide this first. Let's introduce the categories, and then we pause. Then we go back to our game. I kind of like that idea.
I like this.
Our custom-made categories we're going to do this week on Moonfall versus Geostorm, our trial. We got 5 of them, and I think they're fun ones. They're a little unique some ways. Number 1, better visuals. These are both very definitely visual effect movies. Disaster movies are nothing but visuals and special effects. So we got to go with better visuals. 2, better cast. And this is something that I think Jarvi put this in the chat just for me.
Is.
He specifically was trying to go, ELD, check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's not just...
Yeah,
go ahead. I want you to say it. You say it.
Because that's actually what I always thought of. That's what I always did with the category of better cast. But I remember there was an episode where we mentioned, we're not talking performances, we're talking about the cast. Well, the point is, when we talk about better cast, we also talk about the characters and the performances.
That was when
the performances are important. It's not just which movie has the better stars in it. It's also which movie has the better delivery of the stars.
Better cast and characters and how they work in the movie itself. That's a good way to put it. I like that. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, which is the better disaster? We don't get to do this one very often. These are 2 disaster movies. Which one is the more engaging, more entertaining disaster? Number 4, better resolution. Something we actually don't. That's something that came off the top of my head too. I think that's something that's a fun way to do these, especially these kind of movies and action movies usually in general, which has the better ending, which is the better climax in a way. But like, what actually happens at the end? What do we like? How it turns out? Because you could have a great movie and have a shitty ending, and then it kind of ruins the whole thing. These two don't have shitty endings. I think these two have wonderful endings. Maybe if from a certain point of view.
Their endings, all right. Oh, their endings.
I might be Obi-Waning it a little bit, but from a certain point of view, their endings. And finally, 5 more fun. Oh, yeah. Which of these movies is more fun to watch? And I'm really interested to hear what Matty has to say about that specifically, as you could tell.
I'm gonna be surprised if Matty gives something to Moonfall.
I will be impressed.
Well, let's leave it to the categories.
I will say, I want to jump real quick. I'll say we just talked about it. I just said about Obi-Waning. Andor. Have you guys been watching Andor? Are you guys into Andor?
I haven't seen episode 4 or 5 yet.
Ooh, okay.
I'm so behind. There's so much good stuff on TV at the moment. I'm having such a hard time prioritizing stuff.
The thing is, you're actually okay with that because they're in 3-episode arcs.
That's what I heard. I'm actually considering doing it that way.
Number 6 is done and then watch all 3, then that's another good way to watch it. Or you can be like me and Paul and be obsessive and just watch every week.
And like when it drops at 3 a.m. on my time, I'm just boom right there. No matter, even if I'm working, I'm like, yep. I rewatched it again later. I will say, I just threw it out there. I'm not going to talk too much about it. We did do a class action Obi-Wan recap. I'm considering trying to do a class action Andor recap after the whole thing is said and done. Talk about the whole series instead of doing episode by episode. But that's not now. That'll be later on. Today, we're concentrating on 2 other disasters, Fall and Geostorm. Let's get into an interesting game for this week. And we didn't really talk about it. We didn't really talk about it much, but I'm not sure what our rule is. But the game which you all know and love is what would Ed Harris play? Because Ed Harris is
eyes. What's up with his eyes?
I think that's kind of faded a little bit, maybe.
They're so piercing.
Even in the picture, right?
I think it's just from where Paul's had that shirt so many times and put it through the wash so many times that the eyes have just got fucked.
Or he bedazzled the eyes, actually bedazzled them.
Maybe.
No, the Sandy B and Brendan Fraser movie, Bedazzled.
That's a good one.
It's not Sandy B though. It's Elizabeth Hurley.
No, it's Elizabeth Hurley.
It's Hurley. Okay.
Oh, I remember her.
I remember. Her. That's actually a little creepy, Jarvi. Just so that
I know.
But what would Ed Harris play? We just began to play. Obviously, Ed Harris, my favorite character actor, my favorite actor of all time. And we put him.
Really?
Anytime you put him in, I know it's kind of. I know it's amazing. I I don't really talk about him that much. I don't ask questions about him when I write movie trivia either. But he is he's my favorite actor of all time, and I do think he's the kind of actor that you put him in a movie, it also makes it better. It's and he's not the only actor to do that. He just this particular choice. But some actors are like that, where you can make a bad movie watchable, a good movie great, a great movie a fucking world-class movie, because they just add something to the role, add something to the movies that just makes you just want to watch it just a little bit more.
Elevates the movie season.
Elevates the movie season, absolutely. So we basically take every movie and we go, what would Ed Harris play? We put him in the cast. Either we replace somebody in the cast with Ed Harris, or sometimes if we want to, we write a new part for him if it doesn't quite fit, and maybe see how it changes the movie. I discuss that a little bit. It's a little fun, it's a little simple thing we do. But I don't know what we should do. What should we do? What did you guys do about Geostorm? Considering he's actually
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it. Okay, Matty,
I don't do it anyway. So
that's true. Jarvi's best times when he doesn't do it. I actually said the same thing. I said, why would we change it? He's already in the movie. So what would we do, right? So we're just going to do Moonfall. Unless Matty have something.
Did you come up with something? I do want to hear yours.
I got something.
Well, then let's start with Matty with Geostorm.
The main thing that throws me off with Geostorm is the narration at the start. And I get that it's his daughter, but I just want to change. I just want to change that for Ed Harris because it doesn't sound right to my ears to intro the movie with the daughter giving the prologue.
That wasn't actually an interesting, weird choice. I'm going to say that we're going to get to the actual like.
It's a good point, really.
It is.
If it's Ed Harris talking about the space station and everything, or Jerry B.
Yeah.
But in this case, I'm thinking, Ed Harris giving like this big sweeping. Obviously, you can't say that his dad built it because it wasn't his dad that built it.
Right. He was involved. No, actually, no. I actually like that better because a simple thing, and maybe I'm going down a path that like is just a stupid path to go on for these two movies. I'm trying to make anything work better because these movies aren't about working well. These movies are about fun. But it actually would serve the purpose of hiding. I mean, we're going to spoil these movies, obviously, guys. These are not like these are obviously in-depth things. In case you didn't know, you haven't watched these, and you're worried about being spoiled. I mean, I would.
You don't need to like if Crystal, you're still watching and you haven't seen the movies. Us spoiling the movies is not going to spoil the movies,
right? At all.
You can't spoil something.
You're going to like this. If you were going to like this movie, you're going to like it regardless of being spoiled.
Yeah, you're going to even like it more if you know.
Especially talking about Moonfall, hearing us talk about it is going to make you think, I gotta see this shit.
So what I was going to say though is like if we're good at doing that, does actually add to the. I mean, because you don't feel like he's the villain. He kind of hides the twist a little bit more. Because obviously by the end, you find out Ed Harris is the one. Ed Harris's character Deckham is behind the Geostorm incident or whatever. Whereas there's a red herring for a while. They thought it was actually the president Andy Garcia. They're kind of going after him until they made the surprise. I mean, we kind of
national treasure this.
Exactly. It was obviously pretty. I mean, Ed Harris usually does play a lot of the villains, so it kind of made sense right away that Ed Harris is going to be the villain. Although I will say putting Andy Garcia as the president does at least make you stop and think, oh, maybe it is Andy Garcia. But putting Ed Harris's narration in the beginning actually could have helped that because you never have the villain narrate something like that would sound. Because if you're not going to have him narrate it villainously, he would narrate it normally, and so you'd almost think, oh, okay, he's the guy that's going to help us out. Okay, cool, I like that. So
one day, if we ever do a tier list episode, we need to do a presidents in movies tier list.
Oh,
ooh, I like it.
I like that. I like it a lot.
Oh, he's going to forget the movies right after we finish. That's probably true. That's probably for the best.
You're going to forget Moonfall right after you watch it, bro.
We actually talked about this the other day too, Jarvi, on the podcast. We were going to do a director tier list. That's something we haven't done in a while. We haven't done anything. Every once in a while in class action, we do. Like I said, we do the 1 versus 1. Every once in a while, we do a random different kind of episode where we take a break and just bullshit about stuff, do tier lists,
keep
stuff,
it fresh.
Too fresh. So maybe we'll do that. A director tier list. We have to come up with the directors we want to have on that tier list. But Jarvi is mainly concerned with where Michael Bay would end up.
Oh, he's S tier.
He's S shit tier. And
the highest, the highest.
There's an S tier on top and there's a shit tier on low, and he'd be on the shit tier. No, I think I actually admitted he'd probably mid tier yesterday, but maybe that's something we do soon. I kind of feel like we should just go ahead and do that at some point soon, but not yet. Today we're going into Geostorm vs. Moonfall. Let's get it. Oh no, we didn't even finish the game. Jarvi, I was totally jumping ahead of myself here. Jarvi, Moonfall, Ed Harris, what do you got?
Because I prepared it, it's really shit. And I want to first off, I wanted to get Ed Harris as the AI that's in the moon. I wanted to have Ed Harris in the moon, but
Ed Harris as the moon.
But I would rather have Ed Harris in the moon as the sole survivor of the previous civilization that got wiped out, and now he lives in the moon.
Oh, that actually would be kind of cool. Kind of cool to see. It actually would also be a little bit of
that would be like no one would know about. Like he just like sort of goes into the civilization and tries to blend into them. No idea how he got to live as old. There's technology in the moon, right? And he's just
say that again to say in the moon.
In the moon.
There you go. Good. Actually kind of cool. Actually, in a way, it's a weird little minor twist on the Abyss in a way, because at the end they had Ed Harris visiting the aliens and their little underground in the moon thing. So having up there would be kind of a cool little nod to the Abyss. I kind of like that. It's an interesting idea.
The fact that Brandon Hanna is watching this episode is fucking amazing. I mean, like he's the movie science guy.
He's a man of science, so he can verify everything that Moonfall basically came up with.
And for the listeners, he says Moonfall could have been cool if Roland Emmerich wasn't trying to make Independence Day Moon Edition.
But he makes the same movie every 10 years.
That's true.
He makes it like he makes the exact same movie. He's made 3 of them, all exactly the same. Mm-hmm. It was Moonfall. Before that, it was 2012. Before that was The Day After Tomorrow.
Always finding new ways.
Oh, same movies.
Hey, but you know what? Finding a way to have the moon be the villain, that was definitely a stroke of genius. I will give him that. Brad does say Geostorm has Jerry B. Enough said. I want to finish that comment. That's an interesting comment because he is Brandon Hanna, also a very OG Action Army guy. He understands the draw of Jerry B. For the Action Army.
Steven, I want to be in a movie about a storm.
Steven,
it's a geological storm, and I'm playing the scientist.
You guys also forget about Independence Day regurgitation or whatever the fuck that
was. This is actually, you know what? I'll say this hand down. Spoiler aside, I love Moonfall a hell of a lot better than I love Independence Day regurgitation.
Same here.
You know what? I may have to agree. And that's
yes.
That says something. If Matty's agreeing about that, let's put it that way. It says how
if I think Moonfall is better than something, then
I don't think you'll ever see Independence Day resurgence on this podcast, just so we know, because I would not want to rewatch that.
Independence Day resurgence versus After Earth.
No.
I
will not watch Independence Day resurgence again.
So bad.
That's true. And also clear people in the chat real quick before we get into it. Lego home early. What do I hear? Roland Emmerich insults. Shame. Not from us.
No.
It's like Roland Emmerich's like AC/DC to me. They might make the same album every fucking time, but you gotta love the album. You love the album, then you love the movies. I love little Roland Emmerich. I'm good with that.
It's same shit, different toilet.
Kelly,
The Patriot is I would even call it a masterpiece.
I love the Patriot. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely love the Patriot. Jason Isaacs, perfect character in that.
Yes.
Kelly W. Geostorm has Jerry B. and Ed Harris. Does it automatically win? Guess we're gonna find out.
You're here to find out.
Give us time.
Roland Emmerich is a legend, an icon, a campy movie, destruction movie deity.
Lego, you right on.
Okay with that. Brad, I was there, Gandalf. I was there when he said, "I'm Gerald Butler with Action Industries, and you can call me Jerry B anytime."
So Brandon was actually there.
Oh yeah, he was helping film it. He was filming it. He was helping tape it and everything else. He really helped them out. I got to get that clip and put it on here. I think Ben wouldn't mind me.
I even put it. If you guys go back and look at the tweet for last week's episode, I even put, "Can the president call Jerry B anytime?"
That's a good call. God, I love Action Industries and I love our little community. It's always good. This great throwbacks.
I love how we are just going on tangent after tangent.
Oh no! All right, Moonfall. Ed Harris.
Jarvi.
What do you got?
Okay. So Matty, Moonfall, Ed Harris.
I am having a giant Ed Harris push the moon towards the Earth.
You couldn't even bother.
Come on, this doesn't make any sense. You got to make the movie have sense.
How does that make sense?
Actually, honestly, in Moonfall, it does make a little bit of sense.
So Ed Harris is Thanos. He's throwing the moon.
Yeah.
All right, that works for me.
I'm okay with that, Matty. That's Matty saying I don't.
Ed Harris is Thanos. That's actually pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
Real quick, yes, I know it is on the AI channel. I'd have to download it and figure it out, so I'd have to do that. It makes sense. Ed Harris can embiggen. Yeah, absolutely, he could.
What does embiggen mean?
Gets giant, throwing. Oh, absolutely. All right, I did take it minorly seriously, so mine's probably not that good either. I'll be honest, but I looked at the movie and I said, where can I slide him in? I don't want to put him as the lead. I don't want to put him as. I'm not. I could. The easy one to put him
as the lead. Yeah,
you gotta follow your pattern and recast him with Halle Berry's role. Give it to Ed Harris. You gotta follow your pattern. Come on.
Jerry always
the roles to white old men.
I am a mediocre white man myself, so I do have to spread my brand. I admit, but Ed Harris is not mediocre, so I can't deal with him. Actually, I could do that with Michael Pena then as well. I could make him Brenda's husband.
Oh man.
I think the easiest one to choose would be Donald Sutherland. Obviously, the little cameo appearance by him, that would make it a good thing. But I decided to change it up a little bit, and maybe this is wrong. Maybe this is right. I don't know. I'm going to change out. Instead of Patrick Wilson's Brian Harper having a strange son who was arrested for speeding and everything else, I'm going to make
bad grandpa.
I'm going to make it bad grandpa. I'm going to make Patrick Wilson's father is instead the character that we work with here. And he's a bad father. He abandoned his kid, or he had a rough childhood with him growing up. They have a strange relationship, but he's off doing stupid things. He steals like a Corvette, has like a hooker and a bag of blow in the truck.
Yes, give me that movie.
And he's going across country.
I just want that movie. I just want that movie. Forget the destruction. I want Ed Harris in a Corvette with blow and hooker.
If that was actually in the movie, I may have to change my pick about what movie would I watch.
Right? Somehow Ed Harris has to redeem himself and help Patrick Wilson at the end and get the kids to safety or something like that. I think it'd be kind of cool. I like it. So, I guess which one wins this week?
No, of course, yours wins.
I win.
It's the Corvette. It's the Corvette
with hookers and blow. A win. All right, good. It's the first time I've won that event. I think we should start keeping track. I don't remember.
All right, sorry. Matty has to vote as well.
That's true.
Yeah, I just said Paul. Okay. Paul wins this one.
We should actually somehow. We should somehow keep track. Maybe I'll look back at our episodes and see what our records are at some point. All right, but let's go on. Let's go on to the meat and potatoes of the show. The trial itself. We're going to break it down.
Taters, precious.
With the trial of 5 categories. We're going to start with number one. Number one, better visuals. Geostorm Moonfall. I'll start this one if you don't mind.
I do mind.
You do mind.
There you go.
I'm going to start this anyway.
I'm kidding.
This one actually was pretty easy for me, I think, overall. I do want to say that I think Moonfall's visuals are better. And one reason why is because there was one thing in Geostorm when there was an explosion that took place. And it was like they cheapened out as so much that the explosion, all you saw of the explosion was just like this ball of fire that looked really fake coming towards the camera. You didn't see anything explode. It just all of a sudden was like, we're going to show you an explosion, but it wasn't even really an explosion. It was like this cheap ass like thing. And also beyond that, something like the lightning from Geostorm, I thought this is like video game level stuff. This is like it was throwing me a little here or there. Whereas Moonfall, you saw the fucking moon coming down and like really swarming over the whole of the world, and like the gravity shit that was coming up with that. I don't think there's any chance in hell that Geostorm could beat Moonfall as far as pure visual entertainment on that. So I'm gonna have to give this one to Moonfall.
There's a big problem with Geostorm. There's a scene when they're in space, and I think it's Gerard Butler and what's the German actress's name? I'll tell you her name. It was I have it somewhere here.
Who is
Ute, who played Ute. She's
Alexandra Maria Lara.
When they're in space, their faces have just been cropped onto their spacesuits. They're not even in the suits. It is so awful. Like I can forget anything about both movies. I think Moonfall. Well, the one really bad thing about Moonfall is that absolutely nothing was shot on location.
Right.
Nothing
at all.
It was so apparent that this was shot inside a studio. The visuals in space, though, for both movies were pretty good because I think that's an easier thing to, create visually.
Right.
But both movies with their destruction on Earth, so bad. But I think actually no, I'm not going to give this to Moonfall because I'm giving this to Geostorm because even though there's some really god awful like astronaut shit where their faces are so apparently just cropped on there. I cannot stand the Moonfall. In Moonfall, you can tell that everything was done on the green screen. Like in Geostorm, the scene where I think the brothers were reuniting, like Jarvi was living in the trailer, he was fixing up his old Mustang. Okay, what's up with always movies and these leads always fixing up Mustangs when they're like down on their luck? Yeah, both movies were fixing Mustangs.
It's men for some reason. For some reason, men like to work on cars when they're down on their luck. I not me. I've never done a work on a car in my life, to be honest with you. But that seems to be we're going to show that this is a man's man.
Yeah,
this is a really man's man who loves tinkering with his vehicles.
They're broke, but they have like $100,000 car, $100,000 car.
Usually they inherit it from their father. Usually how it was. It's like their old man's car or something like that potentially, or else it was the car they got when they were like 19 or something when they're on top of the world. And there's the memory of when they're on top of the world. It is a common trope. Let's not lie on that.
But yeah, I went off for a couple grand.
It's the apparent green screen, which is apparent in both movies, but just Moonfall did it worse in a way that like nothing was actually on location, like absolutely nothing.
Interesting. I mean, I agree that both did that, but the pushback I had on that was that I still felt like, even though I thought they were both pretty shitty looking at times, Moonfall was more engaging with the visuals for me as far as that goes. But
okay, the alien techie sludge, and that's a real thing. Alien techie sludge looked menacing and cool. That was cool.
All right, cool. All right, so we got 1-1. Interesting tactic right now. Before Matty gives his opinion, I do want to highlight this. This is awesome shit here from Fred and Hannah. I still have the SD card that I accidentally stole from Drew with all the interview footage from that day.
How do you accidentally steal something?
This clip of Jada Pinkett Smith saying, "You're watching Action Industries." Brandon, I need that clip. I really want to see it. I won't post it. You can trust me. I'm a good guy. I need to see that clip.
Jada Pinkett Smith was actually took a I don't want to say took a shit on Action Industries, but she was really sort of dismissive. There's a clip where I think Ben goes up to Jada and she goes like, "Who are you with?" And Ben goes, "Action Industries." She's like, "What? Action Industries?" "Oh, Action Industries." Oh. She actually has that moment. It was so sort of, I don't know, cocky and sort of, yeah. I don't know. It was really,
I'm all in for it. I'm all in for it.
I'm not going to say anything.
Don't go there.
Instead, we'll go to you, Matty, on what you think about the better visual category.
See, when I was in therapy, my therapist always used to tell me, when you're talking about someone, you start with love. You always start with love.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the visuals in Geostorm are goddamn unforgivable.
All right.
Like the lightning literally looks like a lightning effect that you could get out of Windows Movie Maker. Like it looks fucking terrible. So I am giving this to Moonfall.
All right, that's exactly the same thing as I said, Matty. We're on the same page here. All of a sudden, it's back to Matty and me versus Jarvi. It was like a more common.
I'm back at the bottom again.
Give it time.
Give it time. Okay.
Right. Whoa. Matty gave a category to Moonfall?
Yes, he did.
Bold.
Hell might be frozen over.
Bold.
At this point.
You could have just PLD. Let's just give everything to Moonfall now, just so Matty. I'm kidding.
Okay, well, yeah, we would never do that. Okay, Jarvi, we'll do it. Okay. All right, then let's move on. Better cast, better performances.
Oh.
Give me strength.
Should I go first or should I go last?
No, you're going last in this one. You're definitely going last on this one.
Okay.
Should I just go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Matty. Get it done with.
I'm going with Geostorm, and here's why.
Okay.
You roll up Donald Sutherland, dear old sweet Donald Sutherland. Who is in the graphic for this show. He is the highlight performance that we have picked to represent the movie Moonfall for this episode. Is Donald Sutherland. You see him for one scene, and that's it. Never heard from again.
Enough needed.
You don't see him again. Look at that. That is someone that you want leading.
The faces in the back are so funny.
The side characters that he puts in, I don't give a shit about. And it gets to the point where, just as you start to get a little bit invested in the side stories of Moonfall, boom, cuts away straight to something else. And I'm just like, fucking God, the inconsistency is absurd. And yeah, and just going against Jerry B, Ed Harris, and shout out to Daniel Wu from Man with the Iron Fist and Into the Badlands as well, who plays Cheng in Geostorm. Fantastic actor. I'm giving this one to Geostorm.
Okay.
Solely for the disrespect of Donald Sutherland. How dare you?
Solely for the respect of Ed Harris. I hear what you're saying. Okay. Lego, when I was in therapy, my doctor would tell me to the tune of Black Parade. This is your fault, Matty. She's rewriting the whole damn song now. Lego, I want to hear this. I want to hear this rewritten track.
Hey, I'll sing it.
Matty would. That'd be true. That'd be awesome. All right, Jarvi, give me better cast. Which one are you going to do?
All What I really like about Geostorm is how freaking much the actors are trying in this one. That is like they are trying so damn hard. Like Jerry B plays a scientist, which is a leap in itself, but he plays it like the cool, like Maverick kind of type. And he works. You believe him. Not the scientist part, but the Maverick part. Andy Garcia, I mean, just great choice for the president. He commands the screen. He has that sort of awe and superiority about him. And Jim Sturgis had great chemistry with Jerry B. Yeah. It was supposed to be with Abby Cornish, who I think is a sweetheart of an actress. Something between them, just I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that Jerry B and Jim Sturgis, like, they had some really great stuff together. And Ed Harris, okay, PLE. I completely understand why Ed Harris is your favorite actor of all time. He freaking elevates every scene, every movie he's in. He elevated this movie in a major way, and I completely get this.
I thought you were going the other way for a second there. I was like, Jesus.
I would never. And I think Jerry B is in that same category, is that he, whatever he's in, he elevates the movie. And I think that's a big thing. And if we look at Moonfall, what the fuck happened there? Like, first off, that is not a bad cast. We got Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson leading the movie. With both of them, I feel like they're good actors, both of them, but they're only as good as the movie that they're in. Yeah. And I say that with, like, I truly enjoy both of them. I think Halle Berry has been, I don't know, underrated or underused. I'll say underused. She hasn't been in, like, great projects since she won her Oscar.
Like Bruised. That
was. I appreciate the effort, and I wanted it to be so bad. Didn't work. Michael Pena, who I usually love. What the fuck was that? Painful. That was painful.
It did make Michael Pena pretty boring, which is hard to do.
It was so boring. John Bradley actually was kind of it's hard to say that he was a standout, but he kind of was. He made it work. Like, he's dorky, wannabe, megastructurist scientist type. And there's one actor who was, I've never seen him in anything before, and I'm not sure we're ever going to see him anywhere else. I can't pronounce his name really well. It's Eme Ikwaikor. It's the black guy who plays the general.
General Doug Davison.
He goes through the entire movie like this, and he only talks like this. I was like, I wanted it to be so much better.
The entire time.
Something was like off with him.
Should have been Lance Reddick. It feels like it should have been Lance Reddick or something like that. To be honest, so that would have been a good choice.
Now I'm watching it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I love Lance Reddick. He's great in that role. All right. So you're
easily Geostorm. Easily Geostorm. They were trying so hard, the actors there.
Just funny that Jerry,
it worked.
You put this in the chat to make sure I don't just give it to Geos or Fred Harris, and yet you're giving it to Geostorm anyway. Just fine. I get it. I do like a lot of Moonfall's cast as well. Halle Berry again. Yeah, she was great in John Wick 3. It's not a bad call. She has some moments in there. She was in. She's got a couple of. She's great in X-Men, obviously. But she hasn't done things in a while that have been more, not worthy is the wrong thing to say, I guess, but they've been
MMA movie she did, Bruised, is diabolically shit.
It's so bad, and it's such a shame because I think she wrote, she just directed it.
She got she directed and produced it. That's I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't really talk about it.
The good thing is she doesn't age, so she's got like 30 years of playing, hotties at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's great. I mean, and she's good in the movie.
She doesn't age.
Patrick Wilson is somebody who I remember last week I kind of trashed on Jason Clarke, and I still trash on Jason Clarke. I'm not a Jason Clarke fan. Patrick Wilson is like, you got the description when you describe somebody as the poor man's whatever. Yeah. Patrick Wilson is kind of the rich man's Jason Clarke.
Jason Clarke.
He's like the better version of Jason Clarke. But he's not like the rich man. He's like if Jason Clarke is like the slums, Patrick Wilson's like the middle class suburb kind of guy. He does fine with the movies he's in. I do like him in the Conjuring franchise.
Always good in Conjuring. Watchmen.
He's good in his bit roles like Aquaman, things like that. I never dislike him. He always makes things pretty solidly. I do like him. I don't love him leading a movie though. He's kind of just like feels like he's I just feel like it's a placeholder for somebody else they couldn't get. That's what it feels like. It's like if you couldn't get this guy, I'll get Patrick Wilson. He'll be competent enough, right? So that's why I go with that. I did like John Bradley in this. I will admit he was definitely enjoyable. I feel like again though there was somebody else that was meant to be that character, and I don't know who it would be necessarily.
What do you mean?
I feel like somebody else was meant to be the kind of crazy Megastructure
really?
kind of guy.
Okay.
I kind of feel that way. That's not anything like knowledge-wise. That just feels like they couldn't get somebody else. So John Bradley, well, we'll give John Bradley a shot. He's a good Game of Thrones guy. We'll give him a shot, kind of thing. But it could have been a higher impact with somebody like a Charlie Day maybe or something like that potentially. Somebody who could be a little bit more wackier without. I don't know. I'm not gonna complain about him though. He did a fine job.
Like a Daniel Radcliffe would have killed that role.
Oh yeah. Oh, Daniel Radcliffe would have been fun. That would have been fun one as well. Absolutely. Someone who would take it to the next like chaotic level. Like John Bradley never seemed like you want somebody who's like really unhinged playing that role. You know what I mean? And he doesn't quite get to that unhinged level. Yeah.
Shia would have done a good job.
Brent Spiner, that would have been interesting too, actually, to be honest. Like, kind of, you were talking about Independence Day. You were talking about remaking Independence Day.
Who's Brent Spiner?
Brent Spiner, Data, and he was the scientist in Independence Day, the one who, when the president comes in, he's like, "Oh,
yes, of course."
That'd be kind of cool too. Actually, that's a good choice.
All right, Peely, how long are you going to be beating around the bush?
All right,
how long is?
Geostorm has fucking Jerry B, Jim Sturgis, Andy Garcia, Richard Schiff in a small role. West Wing, like. He's another guy that elevates every movie he's been in. Robert Sheehan from Umbrella Academy as the bad guy, IT guy. Daniel Wu, Zazie Beetz is in this as a cybersecurity expert.
She's awesome. She's awesome.
And you got fucking Ed Harris.
Hey, there we go.
So there's no way I was going to vote against this movie anyway, honestly. But even without Ed Harris, even if I took Ed Harris out of this role and put somebody else in there,
Agreed.
I still think I have to give it to Geostorm. It's a better cast, and like Jarvi says, they're really trying, and that's the best part of a movie. Even a movie that's bad, if they're really selling it and committing to the bit, that makes it better watch for me. So I gotta go with Geostorm at this point for that. All right, well, let's move on then to the next category: better disaster. I'm not gonna lie, folks. I have my own we have a document that we create with our like outline, and I kind of copy it and create my own version. I kind of so I do my own notes on there a little bit. I have right now question mark. I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure going back and forth. So I'm going to go last on this one as well because I want to hear what you guys have to say.
I can take this one. It's also, I think it's probably the toughest category of all of them. I think Geostorm managed to take a really cool concept in the way of reversing the weather conditions. Like deserts get a blizzard, cold Russia gets a destructive heat wave. Please make that happen in real life. Sorry, had to be said. It's just an exciting thing to watch with these like opposite weather conditions. Now Moonfall, I wonder how I want to know how they came up with the title for this movie. Was it Roland Emmerich going to a studio meeting? I want to make the Moonfall. What the fuck should we call this movie?
I don't think so. I think he came up with the movie title first and then wrote a movie around the title. That's what I think.
I have a whole bit about that coming up.
Moonfall definitely has the totally ridiculous disaster part. Sure, Geostorm is ridiculous in itself because they built a fucking armor around the world, which would be a natural disaster on itself. How much freaking resources would something like that take and not destroy the Earth? That's crazy. But there's something about Moonfall and the gravity that was kind of bland to me. It was like sort of the moon getting close and it sucks up the gravity. I don't know. We've seen something like that before. I think even like Star Wars sort of showed it to us. Like they were sucking the core out of the planet. I think it was like in The Force Awakens. Like we've seen something like that.
The core out of Alien First Star Killer Base.
It looked like something I had seen before in so many times. And Geostorm, like getting the opposite weather conditions, that was exciting. And I really liked seeing that. So I am going with Geostorm.
Fair enough. Before we get on to the next bit, I want to just throw in there Ryan Payne. Love to see you there in the chat, Ryan. Good to see you. To quote my favorite podcast, how did this get made? Geostorm. Okay, cool. Lego, no one commits to the bit like Roland Emmerich. That's true. But Jesse's response, Roland Emmerich's career is a bit, is also true.
Also, I want to just quickly say the comment about Russia. Not to Russia, just Putin.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
People need to continue.
Jesse wants to do a class action of Man of Steel versus Iron Man. If you want guests, that could be something we could maybe do at some point. We haven't done a superhero one in a while, to be honest with you. Man of Steel versus Iron Man. If you want guests, and Jesse's, I don't know where I'd find guests, Jesse. I don't know who would want to do that. So I'm sure.
I think Man of Steel needs another matchup. I think Iron Man. Sorry,
Black Adam.
That could be interesting. We'll talk off.
Man of Steel is like one of the greatest DC movies ever, and I feel like Black Adam is just going to be another cool movie.
Yeah,
cool, easy lab for Man of Steel.
Ryan Payne, Geostorm is more futuristic sci-fi disaster film, while Moonfall is sci-fi based on a plot of a conspiracy theory. Okay, that's cool. And Christo pitching Shutter Island and Inception, realizing they're the same movie. That's actually kind of a cool thought. Actually, that's actually a really cool thought. I could consider that.
God, I didn't think of that.
That's really cool, right?
It just blew my mind.
That's really cool. I kind of like that. Heartbroken and his wife and goes on an imaginary mission to make things better while the audience gets really confused. I do like that idea. That's actually a great pick. Maybe I'll have to do that someday. What about that? Jarvi, write it down. Put it on the doc.
Should we get him on?
Maybe we'll get Krista on to describe that. That'd be kind of cool. All right, let's move on to the extra part of it. Matty, do you have a decision on better disaster?
Roland, you had one fucking job. You had one fucking job. Make the moon fall.
And it didn't fall.
If the moon is just a movie about the moon falling, cool, that's a dumb movie. And I should preface this, I love dumb movies, and I'm in. But Roland Emmerich doing what Roland Emmerich does, he has to add a whole fucking load of other stuff to it. Like the moon being a hollowed out megastructure. It was hollowed out by the aliens and it's being powered by nano machines that are out for revenge. And I'm just like, bro, you just had to make the moon fall into the earth.
And it didn't happen. It didn't even fall to Earth.
Oh, this is just a whole other different level of stupid. It really is. But like Geostorm, we're seeing even right now with like the storm that just hit the East Coast. Like this is shit that could really happen one day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, contrary to
not the Dutch boy though.
Not the Dutch boy, no. But contrary to some political minds, climate change is a real fucking thing. Like this shit could happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The moon being fucking pushed by like alien.
Sorry, that's the other movie. Sorry, go ahead.
Two by like alien locust things, like
the AI thing. Yeah,
I don't.
You don't get it.
No, and I'm all for movies that I don't get, but this one I was really sitting there like, what am I doing right now?
He loves it. He's going for it. That's all he's gonna say. There you go.
Whenever
that's what
someone wants to watch a movie after I talk about it, that's when I feel like it's job well done.
I've succeeded. Ryan saying John Bradley honestly saved the movie for me. I wish the film had the same tone as his character. I don't disagree. I think I just wanted to see him amped up even more. So
Ryan, bro, I'm glad something saved this movie.
I got a movie. It's Ed Harris with hookers and blow in a Corvette, and John Bradley. Something needs to happen. John Bradley is the gas station clerk that he hijacks and holds prisoner to. And that's half of the movie's in the Corvette. The other half is in the gas station, which he sort of...
So you're essentially saying the beginning of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where they kidnapped Tobey Maguire.
That's fair. Sean, you walked in on a really cool part of the conversation. Obviously, Sean, we like to see you. I haven't seen either of these films, but you could have
Greenland's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed Greenland. Speaking of Greenland, I'll actually say, going back real quick to Cass, it's interesting that Jerry B as a scientist it is tough to swallow. I'm not gonna lie. It's like you're putting like Jerry B, Gerard Butler, sweaty action Jarvi as a scientist. But then he gets almost a reprise in Greenland. He's like he's not quite a scientist, but a structural engineer. Still seems kind of like a smart, heavy duty, smarter role than you'd put him as. Jarvi is like your Secret Service guy, your action guy. He's not like the everyman scientist doctor. Like that's not his role. But yet he's getting these characters and he's working through it. Who knows? Maybe that's a new job for him. Who's to say?
He's making science cooler, and science is already cool, and science is
why. Brendan Han actually must, if you're out there still watching, Brendan, that must be a love for you. You must love that Jarvi is making science cool. I kind of go with that. Let's go into Better Disaster for me.
Wait,
now.
did you? Yeah, yours. I want to say that you haven't gone yet.
Yes, I'm going on Better Disaster. I'm going to come after listening to both arguments. It kind of sway me a little bit. I do have a problem with Moonfall's not delivering on the promise of the Moonfall. I mean, you knew it was going to come because they're not going to have a sad ending. They wasn't going to have like an ending where like the Earth dies. Really, that would be kind of a shit ending for that particular type of movie we're doing. At the same time, though, I don't even know. I really wish I had time. I forgot to do it. I wonder, is the megastructural thing? Is that like a real conspiracy theory?
That's a real conspiracy theory.
It's a legitimate conspiracy theory. Okay, so at least it's not something that came up off the top. If it came off the top of your head, that's pretty fucking out there. So having it as a real conspiracy is kind of funny, I guess. So I will give it a little bit more credence that way. But like Matty said, this Geostorm thing actually. This is okay. I can't really say this with a straight face. I can't say it sounds like more legitimate because with Dutch Boy and everything else, it doesn't really sound legitimate. But I do like the disaster as far as get to see more, different aspects of it. Moonfall is one thing. Better Disaster, you get all the lightning storms, you get the tidal waves, you get the dust storms, you get the pipes exploding from the heat and everything else. A lot of cool disastrous type things you could do so much with that. So I think at that point, I think I gotta give it to Geostorm because of that reason only. It's just more creative and more energetic. I mean, Moonfall is a big fucking swing. I mean, you can't tell me when you didn't hear that title, you get and look at that and go, "Holy shit! Now that's a fucking swing."
Yep.
But all right, I'll go with that.
You go with the man himself chiming in. I'm a big fan of disgraced astronaut Patrick Wilson. I wish he was in a better movie. There we go.
Exactly.
He's
as good as the movie he's in. He's not on the level of Ed Harris and Jarvi where he can elevate the movie. At least he hasn't proved it yet. He could do it.
He could absolutely. Jesse also saying, by the way, who's unbelievable science?
That's exactly who I actually.
Mark Wahlberg. Although Mark Wahlberg was a science teacher.
Was he? No. He called himself a scientist. Oh no. I'm talking about Transformers. What's that? Fallen? No, not Fallen. Fucking
Dark Side of the Moon.
No, the next one. Revenge, not Revenge of the Fallen.
They all really go one and one to me.
No, the fourth one. What's the name of the fourth Transformers movie? Jeez, I just watched all of them. Just because
there's actually some I haven't seen yet. I'll tell you that right now.
Can you say Mark Wahlberg's not really believable in anything?
Age of Extinction.
Okay. Age of Extinction, that's what it is.
I'm a scientist. What do you mean?
Is that what it is? I thought he was talking about The Happening. So I thought that I was going with, but okay. All right, fair enough. And Ryan, that's basically what I was saying. Jared Butler played a structural engineer in both Geostorm and Greenland, and both were also disasters. But
Thank you, Kelly.
Right, exactly. So so not a scientist quite. He was an inventor. I actually should sit down and watch a Transformers movie because I do shit on Michael Bay for them a lot. So I really should at least watch the rest of them and go, okay, so I actually watch them so I can shit on them in a way.
Lots of drink. Have lots of drink.
Lots of drink, yeah. I do like the first one.
First one's great.
First one is really good.
Okay. So I'm ending the Better Disaster. I do like Geostorm's Disaster better, more fun. We'll go for there. So moving on then to Better Resolution, which is the one that resolves itself better.
I would really love to start this one, but I just started it, so
I'm okay with you starting. If you want to, I'm okay with that. I don't mind. Go ahead.
This is 100% Moonfall. Like Geostorm doesn't even have a fucking chance. Like when they get off Earth, the movie actually starts. This is where it gets exciting. They get inside the moon. Shit starts to go down. The visuals get great. The fucking angry ticky alien sludge is awesome. When we learn of the twist in the movie, that the moon was actually a space station that was flown over from a different galaxy where people had become extinct, and an angry AI took it over. Like, I mean, come on, this movie actually took me by surprise, and that is where Roland Emmerich really he took a swing, and I really appreciate that. That like the final third of the movie was like actually exciting to watch. Like truly great. Like they're not truly great. It was still dumb, but it was a great swing. And like, yeah, I don't know, it surprised me, and I got really into it. And that's exactly what I wanted this movie, the entire movie, to be. That's what the 2/3 wasn't, but the final third. Oh, yes.
Okay. I just want to clip out the beginning. That's what I want to do. Clip out the beginning of that. As soon as you said Moonfall, and Matt just goes, "Oh fuck."
I had to take a drink because I was like, I know I'm in for
Cheers, bro.
rough one here.
Oh man, that's funny shit right there. Okay, do you want to counter that argument, Matty? Because that feels like I can't go next. I feel like you have to counter that argument.
The president tried to blow up the fucking moon with a nuclear missile. You have the moon is already on its way to Earth. So your great idea is to blow it up into a bunch of smaller chunks so it falls even faster to the Earth.
They have not seen Armageddon, apparently.
Are you fucking kidding me?
They should get on it. They already have the hole drilled. Blow it up from the inside.
So not only would it kill everyone faster, but anyone that did survive, if you blew up the moon, like the Earth would just go off its axis anyway. So not only would the moon have gone off its axis, the Earth will go off its axis. So either way, we're fucked. It's just like such a fucking I hate how dumb of a decision that is, because it's just like I actually the first 2/3 of Moonfall, I'm like, okay, this I can watch this. This is mildly entertaining, and it is.
Wow.
It's just when it gets to that last.
No, that's the best part.
And it just goes off a cliff that I'm just like, I can't do this. I Jarvi, I'm sorry. I know we're trying to be positive here. I just can't fucking do it. That last third of the movie, it's where it just goes off a cliff. I am giving it to Geostorm based solely on the stupidity of that fucking president.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was I've expected definitely some passion. I guess, Matt, you're giving it to Geostorm without even talking about the ending of Geostorm.
We'll
just
defend
saying,
Geostorm.
Can you defend Geostorm? It's not Moonfall. That's his defense.
Yeah, okay. I'll defend Geostorm. Jerry B tried to give his life to protect the Earth and to save his daughter. How's that
He
for a
failed.
resolution?
He survived. He failed.
But he still tried to give his life.
He kept his promise to his daughter that he was coming back.
Exactly.
Well, that's another movie I know.
A man who never kept his promises to his daughter. And when it mattered, he finally kept his promise to his daughter. Not only to his daughter, but to the planet.
I don't even remember the resolution of Geostorm very well. Like Jerry B had to stay behind to restart the Dutch boy, right?
The Dutch boy, because the Dutch boy wasn't just a space station; it was all the satellites and everything else. And we rebooted it. Then NASA could supposedly retake control of the satellites, even though the station was going to still blow up either way.
I love that you were trying so seriously to explain.
I know. I was like, why am I? I understood it, which is impressive. I'll say real quick, one more thing. Ryan Payne, was the moon reveal in Moonfall better than the moon reveal of Doctor Who's episode Kill the Moon? I don't know. You guys don't you guys don't watch Doctor Who, do you?
I haven't.
Okay, that's cool. I would say the moon reveal is better than Doctor Who. I would say. And you don't mind if I spoil the episode, do you? Do you care about that?
I will never watch it.
Okay, in Doctor Who, it turns out that the moon is a giant egg for some large alien creature, and it hatches and goes away and leaves another egg and goes off.
That's Game of Thrones.
It's kind of something like it is sort of like that already. So it's kind of I kind of liked it. It's kind of funny. A lot of people didn't like it, but I like it actually. It's kind of cool. Lego saying, okay, but have you seen Shark Side of the Moon, the best moon movie ever made? Then watch Moonfall and understood the Moonfall cinema. I really should. Lego is the queen of like these B movies, like even better, even more than me,
I love
more
her
than
for
PJ
that.
Campbell.
I love her.
I love her pimping out these kind of movies because I do want to watch them someday. I will. They're all in my queue.
San Andreas is fucking great. San Andreas, I think, is my favorite disaster movie. Yeah, I think it is. Or The World, the day after tomorrow.
Okay. I will throw mine in there. Okay, so better resolution. I got it. I'm sorry, Jarvi. We started this with a you and me versus Matty. I do like the resolution and Geostorm better for exactly the purposes.
So
it was Jerry B. And Jim Sturgis's moment together, an emotional moment, considering how this movie is, having any emotions in it is pretty impressive. And I did like his combination with them. I like Ed Harris's turn at the action sequence there a little bit. Ed Harris kicking the door always makes me happy.
But Casey Armageddon this shit. Armageddon did.
That's the problem. The Armageddon did. It wasn't as good as Armageddon, though. Whereas Geostorm, I gotta say, I do like the idea of them actually taking control. It would have been better if Jarvi had passed and killed it, actually made the sacrifice. Maybe. But at the end of Moonfall, it kind of was like, okay, so they got the aliens there, and then John Bradley sacrificed himself, but he lived.
And he's the AI now.
It was kind of like a weird, what the fuck ending?
He's gonna start driving the moon.
They're driving the moon. That's true.
See ya, fuckers.
So I'm gonna give this to Geostorm for exactly the same reason. I like the moments of when Jerry B, the president tells Jerry B, appreciate your sacrifice. Then he realizes what's going on. Jim Sturgis realizes what's going on. And it's a very powerful moment. I think at that moment where it's the Apollo 13 moment in a way, oh God. And there's that silence, and the one guy sees the blip. Max, check this out. And everybody gets all excited and cheering that he survived. It's a fun, silly movie, but so he has a good, fun, silly ending. That's why I like it. So Geostorm wins it out for me for that way. So, all right, we're running a little bit short on time, so let's kind of breeze through a little bit. More fun. Matty Gunner, we'll start with you. I want to get you this out of the way. All right, so we just give this Geostorm without explanation at this point.
I'm just gonna give it a Moonfall because I've given Moonfall a fucking kicking. So I feel bad.
Moonfall, you don't have to do that. If you think Geostorm is more fun, then you have to give Geostorm more fun. I don't care.
The thing is, neither of them are really fun for me. If I'm picking the one that's more dumb fun, it's gonna be Moonfall because it is just
respect that.
Fucking dumb. But
okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it to Moonfall just because it's just silly and dumb and fun.
I find it funny that Matty can't really even explain himself. He's like they both aren't really fun.
But I totally get his reasoning though. It's it's so bad it's good kind of a way. That's exactly what it is. I feel like
almost
for him.
Almost. All right, Jarvi, what about you?
I'm going with Geostorm. Although I do enjoy, I do love the ridiculousness of Moonfall. You laugh way too much because of how ridiculous it is. But Geostorm has these, I don't know, these really cheesy moments. It's not as ridiculous as Moonfall, but it has the moments where they're driving in the car with the president. Abby Cornish goes got to take care of something. Goes out the window, shoots the car with I think a rocket launcher or something. Gets back in the car. Andy Garcia goes, "Marry her." They're great one-liners. They really aren't great one-liners in Moonfall. There's something this is the greatest sentence anyone has ever said. But it doesn't work. I don't know. It doesn't have that kind of action movie weight to it. And big thing in Geostorm, it was completely unnecessary. But I love when disaster movies do it. Is they give you a random character with a dog. And the dog goes through all this shit, and the dog survives, and the kid picks it up. All honesty,
that's the way to Jarvi's heart.
I actually teared up because the dog got reunited with the random owner.
I like that. All we need for Jarvi to get happy is put some sad music, some emotional music, a kid with a dog that you never see before, you never see again, and dog survived, and you're good.
and the music was, I think, really grand and epic in Geostorm. I think Moonfall has the ridiculous fun, but Geostorm has this sort of Jerry B type of fun, which is almost like a cool action movie kind of fun. I gotta go with Geostorm.
Okay, I'll give it to you. For myself, I was struck between both for various reasons. Moonfall is more ridiculous and more out there, and there's a lot of fun about it. But I kind of go with Jarvi on this in terms of if you're gonna, Geostorm has an action, fun clips, quips, and and it goes back to better cast too. For me, the cast is more fun. And I know it's a different category, but it's why it's more fun for me watching like Ed Harris commit to the bit, watching Abby Cornish. I remember for that line you said, there's actually a funny line to me is when they're talking about like Jim Sturgis starts talking about all the thing I committed treason to this and to this, and he says about honey. He's like, he reveals that he's been like dating her and he's not supposed to be dating her. And he's like, what? Oh, that too. Like that. It's like it's a little clips like that made me laugh quite a bit too. And I had fun watching Ed Harris. Obviously, that's for me. All in all, Jerry B is Jerry B too. He's a fun guy to watch. It's the difference between Jerry B and Patrick Wilson, who I do love. I love Patrick Wilson, like I said before. I do enjoy a lot of things he's in, but he's not as fun as Jerry B is. Not yet. He could get there. He's actually very fun in the Conjuring world. As far as this little Jerry B is. But beyond that, outside of the Conjuring world, he's never really been a fun guy. Whereas Jerry B, you don't care about the ridiculousness of the movie. You're going to go see Jerry B. So with that in mind, I had more fun watching Geostorm, but it was close. Moonfall is a lot of fun for me to watch, and I did enjoy it.
I laughed so hard at Moonfall. Like it's such a ridiculous movie.
All right, so let me count this up. Vamp for me while I count up the categories and see which one wins.
I can't believe I gave this not one but two
you did
categories, and I feel like that's just like a mercy more than anything.
I think it's gonna be close, but I think I know what's gonna win. So in all, like none of us really keep score except for PLE, so we never know the outcome until he says it.
All right, I'm ready. There's a couple of shocking things about this that I have to discuss real quick, although we are running out of time.
Fucking Christ.
The winner.
Don't.
11-4.
Oh, so it's
Geostorm by a landslide. And not only that, but here's the most interesting part. Matty gave Moonfall 2. Jarvi and I only gave Moonfall 1 each.
No. Did we?
Yes. You only gave Moonfall to better resolution.
I did, didn't I?
Yes. And I only gave it to better visuals.
Huh.
Whereas Matty gave it to better visuals and more fun. So Matty likes Moonfall better than we do, it looks like.
Yes. What do you got to
that's
say
the
for
show
yourself,
this week,
Matty?
Guys. Thanks everyone for joining us. That's it for the day.
Like a strikeout for Moonfall.
PRD, where can the folks find you?
Find me at Paul _DiNuzzo on Twitter. You can find me on the New Day's Clash Action every Wednesday. Now it's a new time, new day. That's who we are. You can find me in Too Mediocre White Dude, which is now going to air on Thursdays on all your favorite podcasts. Tomorrow, PJ and I are going to go into Halloween 2018. A great conversation was how we really kind of upped our game with how we discuss things. We went from going like for the whole movie. Now we just kind of like go a little bit more tangential, and it kind of has made for a better conversation. I really enjoy what PJ and I have been doing with that. And finally, Friday is a new day for Crown Jewels, where this week I discuss the Fairy Fellers Masterstroke, interesting song from Queen about a painting that Freddie saw in the 1970s. We'll go from there. I also want to pitch out there, patreon.com/PLD projects. Join us up. We had a great hangout the other day on Monday, kind of spur of the moment. Had a great conversation with some of my great patrons, including, actually, I'll throw them out there. Daniel Ramirez was there. Brandon Buckingham was there. Brandy Parker was there. Jeff Alterman was not, bastard, but I love him anyway. John Lestrina was there. Kelly W. was not there because she was in her pajamas. That's what she told me. She didn't want to get dressed again. And that's fine. But those are some of the patrons I want to shout out. The rest of you, I also really appreciate everything you do. You help keep the lights on here. You let me do this. And I really, really can't thank you enough. Come join us. Yeah, that's it. Matty, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner. You can find my band Mourner on all streaming platforms. I guess I should probably announce here with people watching. We have a new single dropping October 26th. The song is called Hope Fell Silent. This is the first thing anyone's really hearing about it. I don't think I put it on socials or anything yet. So here's a good place to announce it. New song, October 26th. I believe pre-sales are up now. I'll tweet the link out, but yeah, it's me.
Absolutely. And Jarvi, where can the folks find you?
You cannot find me at Richard_Jarvi on anywhere, but you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Richard-Erik with a K Jarvi, and go check out Eddie Green's YouTube channel, Fans of Something. Even go further than me on PLD's show. Like, he has some really cool stuff on there, and he has a really good radio voice. I feel like he has this sort of low, sort of Howard Stern type of voice. So he's a fun guy to watch and listen.
I really enjoy that dude. He's really cool. I do want to throw out there real quick also, as an Action Industries dude who does produce still every once in a while, Stop Sign, Ben Bateman's single. Go listen to that as well. Great track.
Yeah,
he did a
great song.
Great song. All the songs have been great so far, but he keep pushing that as well. And last but not least, I want to throw Christo saying, by the way, check out the trailer for Violent Night. Yes, I agree. We had a big conversation. It is. We had a great conversation about this in the BLD Projects Facebook chat. It is basically the Night said I went crazy. The old, I'm sorry, Kelly has the title of the movie. I forgot the title of the movie. The movie Scrooged has a fake movie that Frank Cross pushes forward about like Lee Majors and Santa having this action adventure movie, and basically that's what this is almost. It's a little bit like that. It stars David Harbour as Santa, but he gets like involved in like a beating. There's the night the reindeer died. You know what? We'll watch it after. It's great. It's fun. It's silly. It sounds like a B. It's exact kind of B horror action.
Does it have Jerry B in it?
It should. But it does not, unfortunately. But that's it. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week on Class Action, and we'll figure out what we're doing. I think we got to do a horror one sometime soon. I would like to do maybe Jason versus Michael, possibly. I'll have to look at that. Maybe I don't know.
You say Class Action again?
I did say
That's
Class
horror
Action.
enough for us.
Fuck it. All right, guys, we're done. We will see you next week. Take care. Much love. Anything else I have to say? Oh yeah, I do. Justice has been served. Court is adjourned.